Hello, my name's Dennis Toronto, and for my video I'm going to be talking about the basics of MATLAB. So as you can see, I've already pulled up a window from MATLAB, and the first part of this MATLAB that I'm going to be talking about is the command window. In the command window you can do basic functions like multiplication, addition, subtraction, and one thing that I'm going to show you first is how you can put a number to a variable. So what you do is that you type in any letter, so I'll choose V, and then what you do is you choose the equal sign and then you put in any number. So I'm going to do V is equal to 25. Then you press enter and you can see that MATLAB understands it and takes it in, and what it also does is that it stores it over in your workspace so that if you ever look over you can see the variables that you've used, so the name V, the value 25, and then where it also is stored is in your command history. With your command history you can go back as far as whenever you first started MATLAB, and it saves every command that you've ever put into the command window. This is helpful if you ever need to reference anything or need help with anything. So one thing that you notice is that the V equals 25 appears a second time. When you get into more advanced commands, you need that to not be there so that you're not having repetitive over and over space taken up. So what you do is that when you type in the variable, so say I do a new variable, t is equal to 10, what you do is you just add a semicolon to the end, and when you press enter you'll see that it doesn't appear a second time below. So a function of mathematical analysis that you can do is multiplication. So say I wanted to do V times t. What you use for multiplication is you use the star, which you can get by using shift and then pressing the 8 key, which has the star. Then you can use division, which is under the question mark, the power, which is shift 6. And so if you see V times t will show up to be 250, and it takes the V value of 25, the t value of 10, and multiplies the two together to get 250, and then is saved over as answer in your workspace. One cool thing about the command window too is that if say I ever want to go back into previous commands that I've done, all I have to do is use the arrow keys and you're able to scroll through to previous commands that you have written before. The next part I'm going to be talking about are M files. Now M files, it's different than the command window. In the command window it's a compiler, while the M files, they're interpreters. So what you do for an M file is you're writing a script. So a way to do a new script is you select new script, and what you can do is that you can type any command that you want in here, and then what you do is that you press file, save, and then whatever you save the file name as, you can run it in the command window. So an example I have is a previous assignment that I've worked on. What I did was I used variables like flow rate equals bracket 2.5 bracket, and then you can see the semicolon. The thing with the variable names is that you can see it's written not just as one letter. One thing that you'll see is that there are some rules to variable names. They must start with a letter of the alphabet. There's a limit to the length. MATLAB is case sensitive. You have to be aware of using underscores in the name. Certain keywords can't be used. Built-in functions should be used as variable names, and they should always be pneumatic. So an example of what it means, one of the rules is that say I wanted to use capital T. It's not going to equal 10 because it's an undefined function. You can see that I suggest a lowercase t because that's a variable that I've used before. And then if you want, you can press enter and see that the value of lowercase t is equal to 10. So if I go back into the script that I've written, you can see what commands that I've written in here. Total water, I have multiplication. Again, multiplication of total water multiplied by 8. And then I have these displays. These displays are important because I can do commands like num2straight, which I can put into parentheses, and I can show what's the total outcome or the answer for my total water is displayed. And then what you can see is that I have these sentences that are in apostrophes that will show up in the display command. And then you can see that in the first line I have a %, which is just a comment. So anything that when you put the % and then anything after, it's just a comment to yourself. So if you need to remember something important, you can type remember, so that way that you can always, it's something important and you can make sure to look back at it. So say I wanted to run this script. All you have to do is that you go into the command window, you start typing what the name of it is, so PA2_A, and then you press the enter and you can see that it runs. There's my total water, there's my weight of water, and then this is the calculation. This is the sentence I wrote in the apostrophes, and it also shows the calculations that were made above. A cool thing about the command window is that if I do start typing PA and then I press the tab key, you'll see that it gives me options. I can press PA3_B, anything that might have that name, and I can finish it off. And then again press enter and it will run it for me. And then if you ever need to escape, all you have to do is press the escape key in the top left corner and it will cancel anything that you're doing. So say I type random things and I press escape, it will go away. Another cool thing is that if you ever want to find out what variables you use, if you have a lot of variables in your workspace, if you type the command who, it will show all the variables that you have used so far, so that if you're ever stuck and wonder if you can use a variable, this will show the ones that you've used. And then if you need to figure it out, all you have to do is type in a variable, press enter, and it will show the value that you have for that variable. And then if you want to get rid of the variables in all your workspace, all you have to do is press clear, type in clear all in the command window, press enter, and you can see that all of your workspace has been cleared. This is helpful when you don't know what variables you need to use, and you can actually you can change the variable any time that you want. So say you can type in v=12 and then you want to get rid of, you can just clear and then redo v=15, and then it will show up again. Just remember that for any imaginary variables, you use the variables of I and j. And then one last thing before I finish up is that if you ever need numbers after the decimal for more, so say I have pi, you can see that I have numbers after the decimal, but if you ever need more, what you do is you type in format long, press enter, and then after that you retype the variable, and then what you can see is that more numbers after 3.1416 show up to allow you to have a longer number if need be. So I hope that this video has given basic instructions on MATLAB, and that if you are ever a starter, that this will help you with the beginnings. Thank you.